our community members who served in Iraq. There's a lot of community members who served in every single war known in the United States ever. We've been in every single war. And it's sad that in Hollywood, it's hardly ever depicted that we are. And I think there's great stories out there. Because the big difference is that I didn't anything that Ray said that he did, I did. Anything that Ray fucking as much as bullets that Ray shot off, I shot off. I kept it as serious as and as close because again, Ray Mendoza was the director and he was the writer, so he was behind the camera every single take. So I tried to kept it as close as I can to what he remembers and what he did, and never tried to ever try to put in who.
We have severely wounded. Who's severely wounded? It's not you. It's me. Who is it? No, it's not you. No, is it?
Stop you one. We're in contact too.
You coming to you or you coming to us?
Stand by. We'll let you know when we're inbound.
Let's move!
Hey, and welcome to Powwow Nation Live. Today, I'm really excited to bring you a special interview from D'Pharaoh Woon-A-Tai, who you probably most of you know from Reservation Dogs. He played Bear, and what a incredible show, and we loved him in that. But now he's in this new movie Warfare, and it's really intense and different role for him. Warfare is a gripping military drama. It's co-directed by an Iraq war veteran, Ray Mendoza, and acclaimed filmmaker Alex Garland. It tells the real-life story of what happened to Ray and his Navy SEAL team back in 2006. And D'Pharaoh plays a younger version of Mendoza, and he stepped into a role of a real-life person, and he talks about that a little bit. So I want to say big thanks to A24 Studio and the Market Co. for arranging the interview, and they gave me access to see an early screening of the film. And so after the interview, I'll tell you my review and tell you my thoughts about the film. But for now, let's get into my interview with D'Pharaoh. Most of the people watching from PowWows.com, of course, we're going to know you from Reservation Dogs. And this is such a different role. How was it for you making this transition? Was it tough? Tell me a little bit about that.
It was different. It was, man, Paul, bro, it was a different experience. You know what I mean? From reading the script, having the meetings with Ray, randomly getting landing the role without doing an audition, going through the whole 3 week process of boot camp, meeting everybody, working with fucking talented, crazy ass actors, working with talented, crazy ass directors. Bro, surreal. That's all I gotta say. Surreal. Yes, it was different. Yes, it was new to me. I was in a new space with new people. I'm very used to doing native projects where it's native led, and you have a native crew
Right.
cast. Being surrounded with my community, and so this was new to me, man. I was over in Britain for like 5 weeks. You know what I mean? First time over there. It was very new. Yeah.
Well, and I want to ask you about that.
Definitely.
Native people serve at a much higher rate than most people in the armed services. Did you feel that responsibility, and what did it mean to you as
Of course.
being representative of that?
Of course. Well, first of all, yes. I even besides knowing that statistic, I already know that we serve probably the highest amount. I mean, probably the highest enlistment compared to other nationalities. I can agree. But to take it even further, yes, I knew it. I knew it was a lot of responsibilities on my shoulders because yes, there was a lot of our community members who served in Iraq. There's a lot of community members who served in every single war known in the United States ever. We've been in every single war. And it's sad that in Hollywood, it's hardly ever depicted that we are. And I think there's great stories out there, great leaders, great what's the word I'm looking for? Great people who sacrificed their life
Yeah.
and sacrificed everything for their comrades, like Ira Hayes, like Francis in Canada during World War One, multiple people. And so, and to have Hollywood not acknowledge that it feels very disrespectful. And the fact that this film, although if you, I assume, did you see it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, cool. So, although I'm not running around and stating that, my character is native, which he is,
Right.
um, nevertheless, he was there. Nevertheless, he was native. You know what I mean? And nevertheless, it's just as important that his stories gets told. That in a sense, it gets told. Like in a sense, he's telling the story on behalf of many veterans, many Native veterans, many Mexican American veterans, right?
Yeah. And what was it like playing, in Reservation Dogs? You guys really created the roles, you created the stories. This, you were telling somebody else's story. How is that different? And playing somebody, and you're working with him.
You know, Great question. Very good question. Because with Reservation Dogs, they were so open on letting us create who we felt like this character was. We lived those characters for 3 years. By that time, by the third season, I knew who Bear was like the back of my hand. Shit, I knew Bear by the end of the first season, back of my hand.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of creativity, a lot of playing around with it, a lot of figuring it out what worked. With this project, I feel like if I did anything improv or any of added my own 2 cents into it or added who I was as DeFaro would just generally be disrespectful to the story and disrespectful to Ray and every single person who was there that day. So what was the big difference is that I didn't anything that Ray said that he did, I did. Anything that Ray fucking as much as bullets that Ray shot off, I shot off. I kept it as serious as and as close because again, Ray Mendoza was the director and he was the writer, so he was behind the camera every single take. So I tried to kept it as close as I can to what he remembers and what he did, and never tried to put in who I am as an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you broke up. You did say Reservation Dogs season 4 is coming, right? Did I hear that right?
Hmm. Hmm. You go interview Sterling next, and you go ask.
All right.
Mm.
One of the cool things that seeing it and feeling it in real time, that's a really different perspective. It's a really different way to see a film and to experience that. For you guys as actors, how different was that trying to create scenes that were happening? You didn't have like time to develop stories or anything. You were having to do it as it actually happened.
Right. Well, it was a different experience for us completely. I like to think that, first of all, we're all foreign to the military community and
Yeah.
what military members have to experience. So for all of us, this was new territory. And yes, very few of us, some of us have been on other war projects before. They have, have done the boot camp training similar that we did before. So, they have an I better, and a bunch of them are from the States. So, that they like their guns. So, you know what I mean?
Right.
Um, so when it comes to weapon handling, a lot of us, a few of us, knew what we were doing. But for the majority of us, this was new territory, and having Ray be our teacher in that sense, and bring us to what you see on screen, and I feel like we did an amazing job. It comes all from Ray. Yeah,
Yeah. Now, we mentioned briefly Gather Nations last year. So I have to ask, coming from PowWows.com,
yeah.
did you grow up going to PowWows? Is that something that you did? And,
Yeah.
was,
But I
yeah.
was city bound. So okay, I was born in Toronto, born and raised in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, we have a great indigenous community in Canada, just like every other major city in the United States and Canada and almost everywhere on this continent. But yeah, so I was very fortunate enough, to grow up with my culture being city bound. A lot of, city natives, may not have that same experience, but I was very lucky growing up with it. I'm not a good dancer, like I assume if you've seen my brother is. And he's still very new into it too, and very much learning every single day process. But since young man, nah, I couldn't dance.
Nice.
I'm not a dancer. I don't know.
Awesome.
I didn't get that gene, that everyone else got, I guess.
Now, I always love to ask when I get to interview somebody that's out there acting or doing something.
Mm.
Right now, our native youth is seeing so many different places that they can go because you guys are setting these new roles, right? Not just acting, but creating native stories with native storytellers. So, what's your advice for young natives looking to break into this type of role and this type of career?
What's my advice to a young man?
Yeah,
Okay, you ready? All right, let's do it. All right, just straight up, I'll give it. If you motherfuckers gonna read it and see it, yeah, I'll give it to you. All right. So I feel like first and foremost, never compromise. I mean, if you feel like, if you feel like there's a project that you feel like is stereotypical, is not who you are, is written by, I mean, there's great writers out there who are non-indigenous and they can write great stories, but if you feel like, there's a story that's written by a non-indigenous person that you feel like is a stereotypical thing and you feel like, damn man, I just want to work. Sure, go ahead, work, bro. I'm not dissing, go ahead and work, go
right.
make your money. What I mean? Go put some food in our plates because forever, and because we've been in Hollywood forever and a lot of the older generations, a lot of people I know personally, a lot of native actors who have been trailblazing before me, um, they had to settle with all the terrible shit. I mean, like Reservation Dogs was the first native television show in history. 2020.
Yeah.
Or 2021, or where the fuck we did it, 2020, right? And so before that, they had to deal with, the stereotypes, the terrible stuff. So I don't put down any native actor who needs to put money on their plate. Let me get that first and foremost. But if you feel like you if you feel like you should, and you feel like you're good enough. First of all, you need to believe in yourself. That's the first and foremost. You have to know and trust that. Like I started off acting when I was 15, and in all honesty, it didn't really go off until I was 19. A good few years, don't get me wrong. A lot of people, they've been doing it a lot longer and don't see nothing. But I believed in myself through those few times, to those few years that like I wasn't doing anything. And whatever kept me going, and that's what I would say to a lot of people. You would be there's the big chance that you'll hear no, and that's fine. Hearing no is very common. You got to get used to hearing no, but even take it even further, for Native people, I'm mixed race. I'm mixed. And for other Native actors, if you're, Afro-Indigenous, Caucasian, I'm sorry, I'm tired. I've been doing a lot of
I understand.
Asian, yeah, Caucasian, Indigenous, whatever you may be, whatever mix you may be with, in our great bubble of indigeneity. Um, Sadly, you're going to be hearing, you may hear, you're not native enough. You may hear, you don't fit the image that we're looking for a native person, And in all honesty, don't let that blow you down, man. Like don't let that blow you down at all. I think they're behind. Hollywood's behind and realizing, it's not John Wayne Days era anymore where we're
Right.
fucking hair with dark skin on getting shot off of a horse. You know what I mean? We're modern and we always been modern, but now it's finally they're starting to see that now. And slowly it's creeping into it. Slowly we're forcing those doors open to be seen as regular people instead of a mythology, you know. And and eventually, for those people who are constantly getting those no's, like you don't look native enough or whatever it may be, man, that's gonna change. That will change, and you need to make that change. In all honesty, as an actor, we just wait for the roles to come. Screw that. In all honesty, because there's not enough native writers out here, man. And if we want to if we want all these white people telling our stories, then fine. But if not, then we need to start telling these stories. And you reading this need to start telling the stories. And if you're interested in acting, perfect. If you find success in it, perfect. If you don't, go try writing. Go try directing. Go try being a PA. This industry is so perfect, and it's too commonly filled with white people in every single aspect of it. And that's no diss. I'm not dissing, but I'm saying like, yo, like let's get out there and fill all of these spaces, not just the actors' chairs. Let's fill the directors' chairs. Let's fill the PA's chairs. Let's fill the DP chairs. Let's fill the whole entire space until we're in it.
Love it. Well, I appreciate the time, and it's been really fun seeing your career just skyrocket from Reservation Dogs to this. Just one last thing, what's next? What's the next project? Anywhere we can see you this summer or coming up?
Yeah, man, I got a project coming out soon. I think it's April 6th, 9th,
April 8th.
April 8th. I got
Sorry,
it.
11th.
No,
No,
no, April.
28th.
No, no, no. I think it's like that. It's like the 9th or something like that. Very soon, very shortly, very shortly. I have a film coming out with, amazing directors. I did a film called Hell of a Summer with Finn
April
Wolfhard.
18th.
April 18th. April 18th it comes out.
Okay.
I did it with Finn Wolfhard. That was his first debut. And, he was 20 years old when he directed it. If you're interested in, I'm not even going to promote it. I'm promoting Warfare. Yeah, but yes, yes, yes. Go watch. Yeah, Warfare. Hell of a Summer too. There's that thing.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting, man. Well, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, man. Bye.
Thanks, sir.
All right, before we jump completely into the review, I just want to say if you don't want any spoilers, go ahead and stop here. Come back after you've seen the film. I'm not going to get into like specific plot points, but we are going to talk a little bit about things that happened. All right, so let's talk about my thoughts on Warfare. This isn't your typical war movie. And it's not your typical movie. There's no like, here's these characters and let's develop them from childhood and have flashbacks of their upbringing and why they joined the military. There's none of that. There's no resolution at the end. There's no wrap up. There's no closing. Right. This is a single day. You're dropped right into the action. You follow this Navy SEAL team in real time and you live it with them. It is a raw, intense experience. Now, the cinematography is just completely stunning. The angles that they capture, the way you feel a part of this Navy SEAL team is incredible. The sound really, you feel like the stuff is whizzing by you. It reminds me of the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan, where I remember in the early days of having like a nice DVD player at home and you could hear the sound of the bullets going by. This is that type of sound. It's just an amazing immersive experience. and like I said, the camera angles, you feel like you're looking over their shoulders. You're right there with them. It's really an incredible cinematic experience. And I mean, I was in a theater by myself watching this, and literally there were times that like I jumped. I may have even said an expletive one time because it literally just got me, right? It is that kind of cinematic experience. It's really amazing. As far as the cast is concerned, D'Pharaoh and the rest of the cast, they are a complete ensemble. You can tell that they really spent a lot of time before this. They did a lot of training. They did a lot of work together, and you feel like they are actually part of a team. They do a good job of telling this authentic story. And he talks, you heard him in the interview, you know, he wanted to make sure that if there was a shot fired in his memory, in Mendoza's memory, then he fired the shot. So they really did a good job of that. But when the credits roll, you're not given a clean resolution here. This isn't this isn't something that you're going to find out, like, you know, where did these team, what happened to all the members of this team. You don't see what happens to the town. It's not a way, they don't wrap up the story that way. They do give you some pictures of the team a little bit, as kind of some closure, but that's not what it is. For me, I left the theater with this unsettled feeling because it doesn't wrap up in a neat package like most film experiences do. And it's not one of those things like when you know, it's not a twist at the end, you know, and oh my gosh, you were surprised. No, it's just like, okay, that incident ended and it's on to the next thing. The team is just going to the next thing. You know, we're not seeing them years ahead. So it is really an intense thing. I don't think the point of this was to glorify war. It's really to show what the stress, the toll of this is on the people that are in that experience, and just give you a real life, real time window into that experience. And you kind of get to go along with them. So it's definitely worth watching. I highly recommend it. It is a very, it's a groundbreaking way to tell a story. I think it's really different. And for that, you know, I loved it. I really, it's one of those things, you know, it's not like something you're going to watch over and over again, but it is something I do want to see again. Just to have that experience and to now watch it one more time, to at least one more time, to feel again and see other little details and things that I may have missed the first time. But after you see it, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the film. Again, thanks to A24 Studio, the Market Co., and D'Pharaoh for allowing me to see the film and to do this interview. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.